All right, so it's time for volume 7 of What the F Is That Doing in the Junkyard. This time I got a little lucky. I actually wound up at a local self service yard just as they were setting out a whole line of classics. So, literally that morning they'd set out some really choice, like 60s and 70s stuff. So I got to video it pretty much before it got stripped. Some a little more desirable than others. So we're going to bring that to you right now. So a 60s and 70s edition for Volume 7 of What the F Is That Doing in the Junkyard. Here's one that's seen better days. Looks like it was involved in an accident. It's a 1964 Plymouth Valiant station wagon. Yeah, you don't see the station wagons very often. Looks like it had a little rust. Looks like it went sideways. Looks like it wrapped around a pole or a car or something, hit it pretty hard. I can't go in the back because unfortunately it is flooded back there, and I'm not wearing anything that's going to protect my feet from the wet. So it actually rained this morning. It rained last night pretty hard, but I saw they got some old stuff here at the yard, so I had to come out and video it for you guys. Interior was done pretty amateurishly here. Obviously not original interior. Dash was actually in good shape. Sure, it was a really nice car before the unfortunate accident, which bent the car pretty bad. Obviously, no one would have saved this car because of the extensive damage and the fact it's not a super high dollar car, but kind of interesting. Lots of good parts. I might have to go get my tool set and actually yank some stuff off of this guy. Again, coming over here, passenger side's in good shape. Can't get around to the tailgate because of the water, but give you an idea what's going on there. A little bit more roof rust, but definitely not a car you see these days out here at the yard. A 1964 Valiant station wagon. I got the hood up on the Valiant. The grill's not in like perfect condition, so not going to grab that, and both headlight doors are a little bit on the dinged up side, so not something you use in a restoration. It's got the leaning tower power, slant 6. It's like the brake reservoir had nothing in it, so maybe that's why. Maybe the brakes went out and that caused the accident. Who knows? But there's what's going on under the hood. All right, here's another one that's sitting in some water, and it's actually starting to rain. You might be able to see the sprinkles there, so I'm going to have to shoot these pretty quick. They just put out a bunch of classics here at this yard. This is a 63 Dodge Dart. Unfortunately, I can't really get inside of it. It's like all the seats and everything are missing. The gas tanks in the where the passenger seat would go. Probably someone's project car at one time. Hood's completely bent, but doesn't look too rusty or anything like that. This one also has the leaning tower power, slant 6. The grill, not really what I would call great condition, and the headlight rings, which are really hard to find, those are long gone. It looks like they weren't even on the car when they came here. It looks like they were gone years ago. That's about all I can really show, because I'm not going to go out there and crawl in the wet. There's a good shot of the dash. There it is. Here's a 77 Toyota Celica. My dad actually used to sell these new back in the 70s, the 20R motor. This one, I think, just came out today, so these guys are pretty active in tearing it apart and getting all the good stuff off of it for their cars. So as you can imagine, these have become kind of desirable among the vintage Japanese crowd. Looks like they already got all the tail panels and everything. They were yanking this guy apart, but didn't look too bad. It was probably when they set it out, it was probably pretty complete. Had a little dent there in the behind the fender, but overall solid rust-free example here at the wrecking yard. How about some rich Corinthian leather for you? This is the 1975 Chrysler Cordoba. It was involved in an accident. Off the hood. I think the hood's kind of jammed. I'll see if I can get it up after I get done filming. But yeah, the Chrysler Cordoba. Of course, the commercials were done by Ricardo Montalban. It's got your very Malaise vinyl top. Shows about 70,000. I'm guessing it's 170,000, judging by the seats. The Corinthian leather has seen better days. This one had the factory AM/FM radio. Very, very Malaise car. And according to the sticker on the windshield, this one was actually running and driving. Of course, it was involved in an accident, so it would have been. But not too many Chrysler Cordobas in the wrecking yards these days. But here's one, and I'm going to check this one out, see if I need any parts for any of my Mopars. Alright, so I finally got the hood unjammed on the Cordoba. Looks like the hinges are gone, so I've got to hold this bad boy up. It's got a 360 with a 4-barrel, and looks pretty complete. Like I said, according to the window sticker, it was a running, driving car, but unfortunately it was wrecked. This one should have been in our all-70s edition. This is a 1973 Lincoln Continental town car with the hideaway vacuum headlights that are forced up, as they tend to do over many years of sitting. It's got a 460 in it. So great big motor to suck fuel. So it looks like it sat for many years. It's got the vinyl top, as most luxury cars of that era did. Going inside, the door doesn't open, so I guess it was involved in some sort of an accident. And the seats look like they have not been sat in for many years. It's even got the 8-track in the dash, factory non-quadraphonic 8-track, the regular stereo 8-track. Going around the back has the Lincoln lock that slides out of the way. A lot of cars from that era did, and Cadillac and Lincoln and Mercury did that same sort of thing. It's like the bumper's still there. Taillights might be in good shape. It's got a little bit of a Bondo going on in the corner there. But and of course, as we always talk about, the vinyl top rust on these Malaise classics. You can open the passenger door. Oh, that one's stuck too. So this thing was probably involved in a front end collision at one time, since the front fenders are kind of pushed back. But yeah, once again, not something you see a lot of anymore, is these old Lincoln Town cars. There's a classic 78 Chevy El Camino that just hit the yard this morning. Still has the grill and the bumpers and everything else. Looking in here, this one's got the small block V8. It's not the 6-cylinder version. According to the smog decal, this bad boy is a 305. I don't know if it's a California model or not. Let's have a look. No, it's US, so it's a 49 state car. These have actually gotten really popular, of course, for like LS swaps and things like that. This one's actually fairly straight, a little bit of rust bubbling. Looks like it had some Bondo repair down there in the corner. But once again, these have gotten more and more popular over the years. And the bed trim, of course, is gone. It's got some like Ford Granada hubcaps in the bed. Those aren't El Camino. And kind of getting to see it before it gets stripped, which this guy right here is working on right now. Dashboard's completely cracked, but yeah, these are getting kind of desirable, so kind of interesting to see one winding up even now. You saw a lot of these about 10-15 years ago popping up in the yards, but not so much today. So definitely an interesting vehicle here. All right, so here's a pre-smog Fiat X-19. Wow, you don't see these anymore. You saw these years ago on the road a lot, but most of them are long gone. I mean, being a pre-smog one, this would have been a good like road rally car. Someone could have definitely done something with it. And it looks like it's not rusty, which is, most of you know, on Fiats, they tend to develop rust pretty quickly. So kind of surprising. It's like it was somebody's project car, and then they sort of gave up on it, and it wound up out here. But was it something someone would have saved? I don't know. I think they might have, especially since it was a pre-smog example. So in the future, I think right now what we're looking at is, I mean, I know in the last video, most of the cars that I posted had already been stripped. This week I got lucky. I mean, obviously these cars, were pretty fresh out in the yards. I think I'm going to try to go for more of like a quality thing than a quantity thing when it comes to the junkyard videos in the future. Even if it means not posting every week, maybe going every other week or so. So I can get you some really choice stuff. And if you like what you see, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment as to what your favorite car was in this video.